Well, hey, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going on a Monday?
It's going well. It's a rainy day, which
It
I mean, I'm just in
is.
the best mood ever. Yeah, we're
I
good.
feel like the rain came out of nowhere, but I don't look at the forecast ever, so.
Looked at the forecast. I knew it was coming, but it didn't feel like it was coming. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
completely sunny yesterday. I was tanning for like 3 hours. It was fantastic. It was what, 80 something? And today it's raining.
Hot. And
I'm like,
today it's rain.
Actually, really sunny today too, at least for the morning and when I left to go to work. Because I knew that it was supposed to rain today, but my forecast was saying not until like around 10. Oh, because I
Oh.
thought it was weird. I'm like, it's so sunny. How is it supposed to rain? And then I
10:30?
was reading it, it said 10. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. And then sure enough, it just started getting a little bit more gloomy.
Wild. Yeah, I was in the middle of so I did my meal prep Monday class tonight with my clients. I call it Hottie Harvest.
Ooh.
And the rain, I noticed in the backyard, it was just totally full. And I'm like, it's going and it's beautiful. Normally I'm anti-rain, but if I'm inside, it's okay because my hair
Oh,
is not going to get all fucked up. Um,
I live for this.
Hey, ladies. So I just got back from the Arnold's, which
Who's
I'm
that?
exhausted. Arnold, I really don't want to say his last name.
Arnold Classic.
Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
He has something named after him.
He does, the
Yeah,
Arnold Classic. It's one of the they say it's the biggest, the best bodybuilding comp, but it's like up there with Olympia. I don't know, but I think
yeah.
this
I say there's
year,
the two. I
there's the,
wouldn't. I don't know which one's better, but
I
they're
know.
the biggest competitions of the year in bodybuilding. Those are the two
Wow.
you want to get in. You want to get in the Arnold. You want to get in the Olympia.
Yes, yes. It just means you're one of the best in the world, baby.
Oh,
So seeing these gals up close and personal, and the guys too. I mean, they just look insane. But Paul, his company had a booth at the expo. So his boss was actually, and their team was really kind to invite me out. So they flew us out and some other members of the team, and we worked the booth. I think they were the only, excuse me, I think they were the only manufacturing company maybe that was there because they make supplements.
Mhm.
But it was exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun, but it was long. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we actually came back Sunday. But there was a fourth day of the expo
Yeah.
whoa. Wait,
Did
flew where were you?
in Ohio.
In Ohio this last weekend? In the world?
Talk about cold, girl. It was cold.
Was it?
I feel like Saturday was the warmest day, and I was so surprised. But other than that, girl, I was kind of bundled up like I'm a baby.
That's crazy.
I am curious before we get into like all the bodybuilding stuff, did that help? Was his booth there helpful? Because there's so many people that once they get into bodybuilding and then coaching and whatever, they kind of branch into creating their own supplement lines. And so that's if they're the only ones there, and then people are like, you know what I mean? Like that's amazing. And did that help?
I think so. I think it went pretty well because it was 50-50. Like we saw some of the winners who did the amateurs and they won their pro cards walking by. So we would chat with them, and ask them like, well, are you interested in making your own? But I feel like a lot of the people, just because there were 100,000 people
Yeah.
on Saturday, 70,000 on Friday is what I heard. Lots of people just walking around the expo trying to get all the, how you like fill the grocery halls and seeing all the good stuff. And a lot of people were like, what's that? What does that mean? So what do you do? And so there was a lot of, kind of explaining like, well, we are this, and then some networking, of course. But I think it was helpful for them. I love that they were like, I think the only ones there. So kind of genius.
Yeah, that is genius.
Right?
Smart.
I mean, that's even massive that he was there and that his company was there in the first place. You know what I mean? If this is, you're telling me one of the biggest shows in bodybuilding, to be able to have
Yeah.
a booth there, I feel like is huge.
Mhm.
It is a pretty, I mean, you guys, some of the biggest brands of fitness are there, like Young LA and Gorilla Minds and First Form. And I mean, the Wolf. So you guys know how Ashley got me that Wolf backpack for my
Yeah,
birthday last week?
Wolfpack.
I hate to say it if they're listening for some reason. I've never heard of this brand. Have you guys?
Yeah,
Oh,
I knew exactly what it was when you opened it.
I get there. Tell me why every single person walking through the freaking crowd has their
as
wolf
one.
backpack on. And I happened to bring mine because I was like, oh, it'll be perfect and compact. Everyone. So, anyways, they had a booth there.
They have
God,
is you got to get a little patch on there with your, if you're an IFBB pro, people have their IFBB pro. If it's bikini, it's whatever. Like you should see how many of those, you have to have seen those backpacks at TG.
I don't think I ever noticed them
So
because
many of them have them.
because my client's always like, I can't wait to like, starting out her journey of like fitness, not bodybuilding, but just weightlifting. She's always like, I got to get my backpack. And I'm like, backpack? I have a gym bag,
Right.
but I don't have a backpack. I bet you I'm going to be noticing now.
You're
Everybody
gonna
has a
notice. You're gonna
backpack.
notice for sure. Yeah.
And they're kind of pricey for the tiniest little things. I'm trying
That
to think
was
of some
so
other
cute though. That one was so cute.
That
Your
was
little backpack was so cute.
and they do collabs with like Barbie. They've done a collab with Hello Kitty. So they've got the little stickers for everything.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cute. Very smart. Very
But
clever.
yeah. Were you able to get like goodie bags from like all the different places? Like were they giving away any free goodies or
Yes, yes. So remember when April was telling us we should go to that hair expo and get all the
Mhm.
goodies? Think of that, but for fitness.
Oh wow.
So there's like 200, if not more, booths, and they're giving out because we walked around the floor. I mean, obviously, I was there to also help in the booth, but we had shifts. So I was walking on the floor, and I was trying like new drinks. I was trying a lot of pre-workouts, you guys, lots of pre-workout. At one point, I would take a sip and just be like, "That's great," and throw it out.
Yeah.
My anxiety. Lots of snacks, like all the health protein snacks. But by the second day, my girlfriend and I were like, we didn't actually get a bag of any goodies. We kind of just sampled and kept moving. But I'll have to send you guys this haul. I saw this guy post today. The man came back with hundreds of stuff. I was like, damn it. I didn't bring back not one. I bought a pair of shorts because my coach was working the Better Bodies booth, the clothing brand. And so I saw him there and I got some shorts. That's
Oh,
about it. Yeah, it was fun. It was very much like if you're into fitness and weightlifting, this is where you want to be. And I can't believe it's taken me this long to go.
I
mhm.
know.
It
I
is.
really, it's on the list. I want to go next time. I'm gonna tell you and Paul, I also want to be at the booth. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so
please.
much. Um,
Yes,
I feel
please.
like bikini competitors, because I mean that you and I like we watch the bikini competitors the most, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
To meet for me, that's like my celebrity info. Like when we talk about the
Yes.
celebrity stuff on here, because I don't know, but if you were like, oh, let's talk about so and so, about so and so in the bikini, who's gonna be the next Arnold? So I love that stuff, and I love to see that you were there. You've competed before, so you know
Yes,
the
we
pace.
have. Wait,
Um,
how many shows have you done?
I've only done two shows. I've done
Okay.
three, or four preps. For sure, three. I've done at least three preps. I think I started a prep and then COVID came and then I stopped seeing that coach. So I stopped prep with
Mm.
that coach. But so three and a half, we'll call it. Three and a half
Yeah,
preps, two shows.
still a
But
lot on the body.
yeah, and the last prep I didn't compete because of everything that was going on with my thyroid and like my
Mm.
hormones. So we got to a good place, but then my body just wasn't responding. And if we pushed it anymore, it wouldn't have been good.
Mm.
Health-wise, it probably
Yeah.
would have gone backwards. So we stopped and I
Ah,
was cried because I was like, are you kidding me? I just put so much into this prep. Like the best I ever looked too, but the fact that like my body was like, no, I was like pissed.
mm.
It's a lot to do, and then you get excited for the show too. You're like you're practicing, you're posing, and you're doing all this stuff, and then as
Picking out your bikini and your
yeah,
heels, your jewel, all the things.
yeah, and then after that, I was like, I don't think. I mean, I always say never about competing again when people ask, but like right now, it's just not something I want to do, but I love to watch it. Love to watch it.
Honestly, girl, because I've been out of it now for 3 years, I didn't realize. I mean, I had a feeling last week before we left. I was like, watch me get the bug and want to compete again because that's how I am when it comes to bodybuilding. Like when I was in it, I was all the way in for 5.5 years. But once you get out of it and it's not in your feed and your algorithm all the time, it's easy to kind of easier to disconnect. And so but once I was there, I was like, oh my God. I was talking to some of the brands that we had become friends with, And I'm like, okay, so now it's Angelina and she's over there. And then we've got Laura Lee. And a lot of the brands that were there were like, who, what are you talking about? They're like, we know fitness in the industry, but we're not all caught up on like, obviously in the bikini, especially more so on the men's physique. But
Yeah.
I was like, how do you not know X, Y, and Z? But that's how I am with a lot of the newer, I'd say in the last 3-ish years, because one of my girlfriends that went with us, she's a newer competitor. I think she started maybe like 3 years ago was her first show. So she's like her first 3 years, like she knows all the people and all the things. And I was like, I'm not caught up anymore, girl. Talk to me about before 2022, and then I'll know. But
Yes.
it was nice to see him up close and personal because I've been to a lot of shows here in Arizona, obviously with WBFF in Florida and Vegas. But I mean, this is just like, this is the best of the best of the world. And
Mhm.
these people they look insane. And when I think about competing, I'm like, it really is a,
It's a sacrifice. And you've competed in two different, so you've competed in the NPC and
mhm.
the WBFF, and those are pretty different. Would you
Yeah.
say like the whole vibe is different? Do you want to explain what the differences, the bigger differences are for the listeners?
Yeah, I'd say, well, it's so funny because a lot of times people are like, what's a PBFF? It's way bigger now than it was, I think, 10 years ago. But so many people are like, wait, tell me about it. And then they're like, I think I've seen photos. But the biggest difference is when you're on stage, our posing is a lot different. We don't have like a standard, front side. We've got a front side, but it's more of like a flow. The outfits are different. They're way more, in my opinion, sparkly and bejeweled, should I say. Our shoes are all decked out. I feel like NPC and IFBB have everybody has the same shoe, which
Mhm.
I love. I wore it at my wedding. I love that shoe. But we just get to have a little bit more fun
Yeah.
WBFF. I feel like the girls are a little bit more natural, which is why I switched over. When I was in NPC, I was placing like third, fourth, fifth over and over and over, but I just wasn't winning. So when I went to WBFF, I started winning, and that's how I got my pro card. We also have, after we come out in our suits, we have the gowns as well. So you've got to look and know how to walk in a gown, boo boo. It is a whole, I like to tell people, think of it as a pageant. It's like a fitness pageant. And we have crowns. We have giant, beautiful crowns. It's very perfect for me because I always
I was
wanted to
gonna
do
say
pageants.
that's perfect for you.
We didn't have money for pageants when I was young. So I'm like, now I get to do pageants. Okay. But those are like the biggest differences. I think we also have bikini, wellness, figure. The figure girls get to wear like wings, like Victoria's Secret.
No way. I don't think I knew that.
I wish I was them because I'm thinking about switching over just for those wings, but I'm not big enough. Yeah, girl, I get the wings. Yeah. Our nationals it works a little bit different though for if you're listening and you're like thinking about competing. I will say I think that they've changed the rules in the last few years, but since they've been gone. But you basically go like an NPC, you've got your local, and then you've got your nationals where you have to qualify for nationals.
Mhm.
And then at nationals, you have to qualify for all of the pro shows. You have to win your pro card and then start qualifying. Whereas in WBFF, you go from local to, depending on how you place, you get your pro card. So you almost have to skip a step too. I don't know if it's changed since I've been gone, but yeah, it's basically how I think it's a little bit different. That's why people say like it's easier to get your pro card. It's not easier. I mean, yes, that's an extra level. You still have to go through the prep and the food, the training, all the things. Maybe it's just a little faster for pro.
So, Star, I have a question for you. So, since you went there over the weekend, how was it being on the other side? Like, behind the scenes what it's like doing these shows and getting ready for them and doing all the prep and all that. How was it being on the other side, like seeing it versus being in it?
It's so fun. I feel like when we were at Cardi B, we're screaming and we're shouting. That's how I am in the crowd as well. I'm just like, gosh, it's just incredible. Like I feel like these are the best in the world. And so to get to that level in my mind, I'm like, I couldn't even imagine the level of intensity for some of the things they've had to do. But I love being on the other side of it too, because then I can cheer for them while drinking my wine and eating I'm sure they're all waiting till post show to do the same and maybe have some pizza. But I love rooting for them. It's pretty cool.
It's
So it did mention it gave you the itch, maybe, about thinking, is that a serious itch or
It's like because here's the thing. I was talking to so Angelina is one of our like OG rock stars. She's won Olympia 4 times and the Arnold's a ton of times. I got to meet her because she was working at one of her whoever sponsors her supplements. I can't remember if it's Core Nutritional or somebody else. But she was just hanging out in the booth. And so Paul actually, because I was just walking by wanting to get a picture of her, Paul's like, you should go up to her and talk to her. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, why not? I'm like, I cannot do that right now. He's like, you need to do it. So he goes up there and he's like, excuse me. And then he like pushes me into her booth and we have a whole chat. I can barely talk and breathe right now. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I just basically like word vomited all over her. But I was like, you're my idol. You've had 2 kids, you retired, and then you came back after the kids and you kept winning. I just love you because that's really why I'm not competing right now. And she's like, oh yeah, you compete. You're so beautiful. And her accent is really thick. Plus it was really loud. So, but she was like, so you're not, you want to be a mom and I get it. She's like, just do you. And so that's my dilemma. I have the itch to
okay.
do it, but because I also want to now, like, I feel like I'm 37. The timing is right. Also, I'm not getting any younger. So
Mhm.
I feel like I'm at a crossroad where it's like if I compete, I would actually like to switch back to NPC, which is the thing. Because I already switched, so I no longer have my WBFF card. I switched to FMG. That's a long story. I'll tell another day. But I technically now have my FMG Pro card, but I've never competed with them. So here's the thing: if I switch over to NPC, I lose my
Mhm.
Pro card and I have to start all over. So I
mm,
was like, well, I would love to like switch back, especially because now they have two. Well, no, they have one new division called Fit Model. Britt and I were talking about, which is more of the like lifestyle-ish. These girls still looked good, but I feel like they're not as muscle, or lean, quote unquote. So I'm like, if I switch over, give or take a year or two to get a pro card or more. Last time I did NPC, I was in it for 2 years. And then you get your pro card, you've got to like compete a bunch of times to try to get to the shows. So this is like a 3, 4 year process. While by then I'll be 41. Trying to get pregnant, I'm like, the timing just doesn't align.
So this isn't something you could just like knock out in a year.
If my genetics were, I've seen some gals go on stage, first couple of shows, win their pro card, get to the Arnolds within a year and a half or
mhm.
two. But
Okay.
that shit is rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Time will.
Time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah, the fit
Oh,
model division. I was really excited when they came out with it. I was
yeah,
like, I can do that.
yeah.
But it's the same rigorous process that you have to go through because I mean any prep that ultimately now how evolved the IFBB Pro has become with their physique in bikini is just not a level I think my body is capable of at this point. Like the amount of muscle I'd have to put on, that kind of thing. It's possible for sure, but that would for me and my genetics, it would take a long time for me to get to that bikini physique.
Yes. They're huge
They're
now.
huge
Their
now.
glutes are insane.
Yeah, they get bigger and bigger. I'm like, wait a second. I'm trying to catch up to your glutes from 3 years ago, okay? Like, calm down. But when I do prep and like my last prep, I guess, when I look at that physique and I look at the fit model division, I'm like, that's pretty much where I landed. I feel like that amount, that size, you don't have to have as much, or you have a little bit more body fat than you do in bikini. So I feel like it's more attainable without the risk of damaging like your health as much as bikini is, or anything past bikinis. It's a thought, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's like that's still a lot of work. They still have to go through the same prep, the same like however many weeks it is, and the peak week, all that is still gonna be the same. It's just a slightly different look. So it's like that's a lot still, you know.
It is. It is. What do you? Bert, what would you say, like thinking about your 3.5 preps,
Yeah.
what are some of the like biggest, I guess, is for you? Because I know mine. I'll go after you.
Yeah, I don't know about, well, I guess the food part would have been a sacrifice, but when you're in it, I'm sure you know this, like when you're in it 100%. So you put like these blinders on of like that doesn't even exist and that doesn't matter to me because this is what matters to me. So I don't feel
Hmm.
like I was ever sacrificing that, but I feel like the social aspect of it is what I sacrifice the most. So like if I was going out and socializing and stuff, it's still fun and a good time and I didn't really mind, but it was still different because it's like I'm bringing my own food and I'm eating at the
Yeah.
restaurant my own chicken and rice, you know what I mean? It's and so
Ordering cucumbers like this one.
it's like that part I'd say was the biggest thing because we did do a lot of stuff all the time. So it's like, oh, we go to the barbecue over here at a friend's house, and it's like I'm the only one bringing my own food, and there, it's that being around people that don't really understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
That was like probably the biggest thing I'd say. But I didn't personally care. It was just like probably the biggest noticeable thing that was talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much like my number one, I'd say. Because at first, when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm doing this competition. I cannot hang out with anybody. So I actually said no. I was like not going anywhere. I wasn't doing anything. And then I was super caught up in because I was so hungry for not the whole time, but a lot of the time I was watching like a lot of like food videos. I was like glued to Instagram and like, oh my God, I can't wait till I can eat this, this, and this. But yeah, I was really just not being able to. At that time, I felt like I couldn't go out. So when I started finding, I'd say like it took me a year, maybe a year or two, just being like, girl, you got to live your life. Yes, it's discipline and it's going to be hard to say no because I am a casual drinker and I hang out with people who drink quite a bit sometimes. And so just having that boundary of like, and focus because once you're in it, you really are in it. But it took me some time to like learn that practice of because I think my first prep, I hate to say it, I'm pretty sure I drank alcohol vodka sodas up till 6 weeks out, girl. I was not giving up those vodka sodas. But finally, around my third show, I went the whole 24, 28 weeks, no alcohol. And that was the most I'd ever gone without alcohol in my life. So I was like, damn, I can actually do this. But I think the older we get, and depending on how extreme your prep is, maybe how old you are, your hormones too can get kind of wonky, right? So I feel like a lot of those women I see on stage, I don't know how old they are because I'm not deep in it anymore, but I am curious to know, like, if they have podcasts, maybe we could listen or ask, I don't know. But like, how are there? I want to know, like, what do your hormonal tests look like? And do you want to have kids? And what's the trajectory of like this career for you? Because they are making money too. It is like a career choice and
Yeah.
sacrifice in that way.
Question. It might be a little controversial. I don't know. But I'm assuming this like whole scene and environment is drug free, right? Or no?
No,
Okay.
it's not. This one, there are organizations that are drug tested. You can't you have to do a lie detector test and you have to take a pee test if you win. I have competed in one of those because I am a natural. I'm naturally competing. I'm not enhanced in any way. So that's the one I decided to do so that I can be more on that like the competition was more on the same level as me, whereas NPC, like you don't know who's on what and whatever. And that's more so like when you get into like the pro level, I think that you can tell the difference too. And there's a different look to the muscle for sure. Just from me heavily watching the competitors because I do enjoy following that a lot. I don't follow it as much as I used to, but you can always tell Janet Leug, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. You know Janet.
Yeah.
It's amazing. She's all natural, but she doesn't compete bikini anymore because she's all natural. So she is no longer like she's thinking fitness division. I don't know if you knew that, but she's gonna do fit
No.
model division.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So
Wow.
she's gonna come back into that because this is how big she is, you know what I mean? And she wants to
Yeah.
stay natural. So she's no longer able to compete with the women who are getting bigger, whether it's natural or enhanced, but it's definitely in that league for sure.
Yeah, it's very obvious. So I think very few people can get away with supplementing and not being like, I mean, if you're put on stage, we can tell if you are and you aren't. But that and that's the disadvantage, right? I am also a natural competitor. So back in 2018, 2017, they didn't even have a wellness division. So it goes bikini. It used to go bikini, figure, and then what's the other gal's called? Where like Whitney Jones is in.
Um, she's in fitness because they do
Fitness, okay.
dancing one, right? Yes.
Yeah, they do the dancing, and but these girls are like jacked.
Yeah.
So back then, bikini, it was either just bikini or figure. And figure, they're pretty jacked too. So all of these giant, curvy, big, thick-thighed booty girls kept winning. So now they have, or they would lose depending on if they had too much because they couldn't get lean enough. So now they have wellness. So all those girls moved over, and I think it helped some of us more leaner gals start winning bikini finally. But
Mhm.
now with Fit Model, I mean, it's really evolving and changing. But at the end of the day, if I had to put a number, I would say 98% of pros are supplementing because that's what they do to win. And they do have the natural, competitions, which I've thought about doing in the past. But
Well,
yeah, I
MPC itself has one natural competition,
do.
and I love that they have that. I don't know the
They
details
started
of,
that.
yeah, I don't know the details if that is tested or not. It's advertised as a natural show, and you do see the competitors there. They do look different. Just even in the men's division, they are just, you could tell they're natural, which
Hmm.
is great. They look great, you know what I mean? So I do like that they have that because you can earn your pro card that way, but your
Yeah.
competition is just with,
Still all the other people.
yeah.
So interesting. I forgot about that. And I think it's a Whitney Jones show too. The Whitney Jones Natural something maybe.
So she has, well, I think she does have a well, she has the Whitney Jones Classic. No, so, but the natural one is John Weider. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Oh,
It's
okay.
John Weider. I can't, don't quote me on that, but it's
Gotcha.
some guy like that. Whitney Jones has the Whitney Jones Classic, and then I think
But
she
I
also
thought she had
does,
two now.
she does the Arizona State.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Because I did her Whitney Jones Classic. That was maybe
Yeah.
like my second or third maybe show. Yeah. So wild.
Yeah, the Arizona State, you can win the title of Mr. or Mrs. Arizona.
Ah, that's so fun. Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, I mean, they all did a great job. But it's so crazy for the men, especially. They were announcing like where they all came from. And these guys are coming from Turkey and Africa and
Mhm.
I mean, all over the world for this thing. And then you could always tell who, in my opinion, Arnold favored because he would jump up and take a picture with them. And then the one guy he did it with during finals won.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
crazy.
There. Did you get to meet Arnold?
I didn't get to meet him, but I did see him train. He was right in front of us with all his security. So we saw him lift for about 20 minutes. 30
No
minutes.
way. That's so cool. Was he
Yeah.
pretty jacked?
No, he's this little old man now. I feel like he's thicker, but he just looks like this old man now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's such a gem, you
Mm.
guys. But it was a fun event. And I heard it's a lot different from Olympia, sorry, yeah, Olympia in Vegas because Vegas happens to be during, I mean, in one of the most, populated cities in the world for partying and vacations and stuff. So I hear a lot of just regular people go when it's happening just because it's happening. They buy a ticket,
Oh,
they want to experience it. Whereas going to the Arnolds, that's a whole destination because
mhm.
Ohio, you gotta get to Ohio for the thing. So I'm curious now when I do go to Olympia to see if it's like kind of a different vibe.
Yeah.
What a well, this was fun, ladies. What an experience.
I bet. I love that. I'm glad that you got to experience that. I thank you for sharing stuff with me. As I was like, let me see these people.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, maybe one day, because you know what I remembered? Well, at least at the local division, they separate us by like ages. And I forgot about that. They have like the 18 and open, and they have the
Yeah.
masters, and then the whatever, whatever. But at the Arnold's, I mean, they're all just, it's like a, free for all. So I was like, in my head, when I realized that, I was like, damn. Because I remembered being 29 and competing. And I was like, I can't wait till I turn 35 and I can finally get to the older gals. Because it was always just like, I feel like I could win the 35 plus. The 18-year-olds, they are not playing around. But yeah, no, Arnold's no age differentiation. So the gals killed it. Gotta go see their pics. Audience, if you haven't seen them, check them out. Well, let us know send us a message if you feel like you might compete. I feel like I talked to so many people who are like thinking about it. I've always wanted to, maybe this, that, and the other. Shoot us a DM if you're thinking about competing and we can chat. Be fun.
Until next time.
Yay.